Hey everyone, welcome to Tekker Talks, TekEVO's podcast, and this is episode number 2. So we're back at it, after a small delay.
Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back.
So I'm Evan, and this is Tony. And,
Pleasure.
so today we wanted to talk about shooting. So many times I have players asking me, how can I get my shooting to improve? How can I be more consistent in my shooting? It's one thing to be able to score a nice shot every now and then, but how often is it? How often are you missing the target?
Consistency.
Yeah, so we can go into that, and how can we really improve our shooting to be more consistent?
Yeah, I mean, I think, shooting is always fun. You hear that all the time, and I don't think you could get enough shooting,
Yeah.
You can miss 100 times, but, then you can bet that, in confidence that in a lot of situations, you're going to be able to finish. So, another thing about shooting is it's every position. I mean, everybody needs to know how to shoot. And that's definitely vital and important information. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's actually a perfect point because, so many defenders also say, well, I'm a defender. Why am I shooting? Well, there's center backs that take shots, from
Yeah.
30 yards out.
Yeah.
You have right and left backs that are overlapping the wingers or the outside mids to get in scoring opportunities. And if you can't shoot, you're wasting these opportunities or you're passing the ball off in an opportunity that you might need to score, and then a goalie might say, why should I shoot? And shooting is technically just striking the ball, so, and it's whether it be in a lower dimension than maybe a goal kick, obviously, but it's still, if you can understand how to strike the ball, it's going
Yeah. The form.
to
Correct. Yeah.
translate into passes, it's going to translate into shooting, it's going to translate into long goal kicks, and some
Understanding for
can
sure.
translate into how I receive the ball. If you don't fully understand how to strike the ball, even receiving the ball, I'm trying to have some foot-eye coordination into the center of the ball and bring my foot to the correct spot, and that's all shooting is, in the reverse effect, and I'm swinging my leg into the ball rather than the ball coming into me, so it's all about the same, and if you can understand those kind of the physics of all that, I think you have a greater chance in success in any position. So that's a perfect point for sure.
Yeah. No, I agree with everything you said. I think one of the things that we all should understand is that we're our own worst critic.
Yeah.
So, when we're missing, we're getting a goal here and there, right? But I think that the downfalls you always seem to dwell on a little bit. So a way to combat that is, shooting and as much knowledge you can about it. Because then again, knowledge is power, and shooting is not always on the field shooting a ball. What else could you do to improve your shooting other than shooting all the time?
Well, mental training, right? It's statistically proven in peer-reviewed research that mental training actually has a capacity to improve technique, to improve skill, to
Ah,
improve um, effectiveness and efficacy in actually believing in yourself to be able to do it, that will translate in real time. So it's one of those things where, I think first it's knowledge is power. If you don't know what you're actually doing, then there could be some technical faults that are happening that could be kind of causing those mistakes. But so once you have the knowledge and the understanding and your technique, now
then
you
you have
can translate it
confidence.
into that, and now with that understanding, now you're more confident. Now you know how to mentally train, and literally just sitting here, I can literally visualize myself shooting, and I can understand the part of the ball that I'm actually striking, and some kids may not fully grasp that idea, but it is a proven method in that it may not be as effective as real physical training on the field, but there is definitely an effect that will improve your technique and improve your skill over time if you can just visualize and really think about these components.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. That's it. That's just it. It's not one component. There are components, and if you are able to understand, then your confidence level will drive you to the goal.
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I,
so
so from that, I mean, I think, this is the very reason we created the shooting formula course. We wanted to give players a chance to really mentally train and cognitive train themselves in this shooting technique. But first, you got to know how. So we created this course to really break down the shooting technique to each component. And then now you've created a knowledge base and an understanding for the player. And now that they can self-correct themselves, even when we're not training them, even when we're not there, now they may be in a game or in a practice and they've made a mistake. At least from that mistake, now they know what has happened, why the mistake occurred, and they can self-correct that for the next shot. And that's power. That's ultimate power for sure for the
yeah,
next.
no, I mean, I like the shooting course because it offers something that the player can go through without instruction from one on one. It leads the player in a way that they can understand and try to grasp a certain formula that has been proven to work, and then it just becomes what we've stated before: knowledge is power. So with on-field training and the shooting formula, you're getting a 1-2 punch actually with skill set that you can acquire to make that shot better, and then you could say that you have put in, your work toward that. And then you could basically understand, as you said earlier, how to shoot, when to shoot, what shot to shoot, you know, it just provides you with more of a knowledge base. And it might not be for everybody, but if you want to not always think after you shot, why did I shoot that over? Or, why did I place it right to the keeper?
Mhm.
And I've taken so many shots, and,
That
maybe
big
step it up
opportunity.
another level on top of training and obviously not shooting at the keeper or not shooting it over. We don't mean to do that, although it happens, along with taking shots on the field and our shooting formula. That provides you with a knowledge base that we feel will definitely enhance your shooting
Yeah.
and goals.
And just to clarify, some players will say, well, I know how to shoot, but, most players have been taught to shoot. But really, what was that teaching? How in depth was it? Likely it was in a team scenario, um, and the coach just generally taught you how to shoot. They taught you to put your foot next to the ball and kick through the ball, blah blah blah.
Yeah, that's mostly
But
how it would
how
go.
in
Yeah.
depth? How in depth was that technique taught? And I think there was a void, at least in my upbringing, in my career in soccer, in that it took a while for me to really learn the real technique. Through my development as a youth player, no one really broke the technique down for me until you did, when I started getting individual training. And it's one of those things, without the individual training in the team setting, the coach doesn't fully
Right.
get in depth in the technique and doesn't individualize it as much as we're able to. And I think that's another positive in what we're trying to.
Well, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, they're influenced in the team atmosphere, and while they do what they do well, you get the norm has been you get this kind of instructions in camps, which is another realm that has helped. But I think with this formula and this online cognitive training set, it allows the player to do it on the back end when he wants, and then it gives them a visual and not so much of an instruction, but it gives them a visual of
It's
a
both.
formation on how to, and it's just going to enhance it. It will help you in your shot for sure.
Yeah.
I've seen it. You can see how your form is. We worked on shooting and all that with you for years. And the
Break.
video that we've, yeah, it's
if you
It,
don't
it
break it down, if you don't break it down to those individual components, the way I look at it also, we call it the formula, but in another way to look at it, it's kind of like the recipe of shooting, and we have all these ingredients. And if you don't know the ingredients, and if you're missing
Stew
that,
it up.
or if you're missing that sugar, you're missing a big part in your understanding and how it cultivates all together. So I think that's another way to look at it, and that you got to know the ingredients in order to put the recipe together and make it successful and something you're gonna be successful at. So
Yeah, I mean, in closing, the bottom line is you can always reference this. Once you've done it, you can continue to reference it. We have professional players that are doing the course. We have college players. We have youth. It's really no demographic, so to speak, for this course. It's for everybody, and it only will enhance the thought process and knowledge of it. So there's one course that you can do by yourself without any instruction, just and then there's another one that we certify that you get a certificate along with some other
we'll get some feedback.
perks that
Yep.
but I think it's at least worth looking into the course. And if you have any question, you can always message us on social media or any platform that's easy for you. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm excited about it. I've seen it work. I'm excited to be able to help present it to you. And we'd like your feedback as well, what you think. And again, if you have any questions, you're going through the course and you need any questions answered, we're not hard to get a hold of. So
Yeah, as we continue, there's going to be a lot more soccer education that we're going to be focusing on. As a company, we want to be able to give players soccer education that normally players aren't receiving. I think there's a big void still in really understanding soccer concepts, and I don't think they're being articulated enough. I don't think players are being educated enough. So while some players may question, what is this soccer school? Is this a classroom now? I mean, in a way, but the thing is, it's powerful. Once you
the
have
mindset.
like you said,
Yeah.
once you have the knowledge, it's power, because you might get some new soccer cleats, but guess what? In a few months, 6 months to a year, they're ruined. Once you have this soccer knowledge, it can't be taken from you.
Yeah,
You
it's always there
have
for you. I think that's a good point. I also think that, look, what we are priding on TekEVO and what we do is we are providing a full realm for the player on and off the field to reach his maximum potential. And I think with our field training and our individual training, we're providing a decent atmosphere for all realms of players from professional to youth. And now with us really implementing our cognitive side, which we've been doing on a smaller scale, but has been proven to be effective. And we're trying to maximize your knowledge
and that.
and a platform to get you to maximize yourself in sport, which is soccer. So, it doesn't take a rocket scientist. There's many training companies out there, many players that represent that do training too, and that's great. Our model is a little bit different in that, we're trying to maximize the player's potential.
Yeah.
And with that, it's on and off the field. So check us out.
Yeah, so you'll be hearing way more about this. Just be on the lookout for more information, more soccer education, to supplement your training, to supplement your team training. The individual side is key in player development. So just be open and be on the lookout for TekEVO's information. And before we get drowned out by the lawnmower, I think we can conclude the podcast. But hopefully everyone enjoyed it, and I know I enjoyed it. Just speaking.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Good to see you, and stay tuned.
Sounds good.